Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to TED Talks Ball. We've got a post-training camp, padded camp, practice edition. Welcome, everybody. Beto from Niner Sickness Podcast. Everybody, you know him at Niner Sickness Podcast, Niner Sickness 49, pardon me, on Twitter, and the Niner Sickness Podcast on YouTube. He also runs a great DM group that I'm part of. So thanks for joining me today, Beto. And please tell everybody anything you'd like them to know that I may have missed. Anything also that you want to promote coming up with your channel or with other channels, anything like that.
Well, first and foremost, I appreciate you having me on your show, Ted. Appreciate it. It's always a pleasure and honor being on here with you. And as for my channel, let's see, today's Monday. Pretty much Wednesdays at is it 6 p.m. I go on with Pete for 49er Fanatic Podcast, and then on Fridays I go on with Jess from East Coast Red and Gold at 5 p.m. Pacific. So come and check us out those 2 days. And then during the week, I just go on by myself whenever I pretty much feel like it. So it's always great to have that notification bell clicked on so that you will be notified when I go live. But other than that, I'm just glad to be here, brother.
Speaking of notification bells, it sounds like you almost got one today for our show. We were talking backstage.
Yeah.
Good thing I do lots of promoting on Twitter and all these other platforms. Actually, on your Facebook channel as well, too. Thanks for letting me do that. I do it on my own Facebook page, but you have a Niner Sickness page. That's pretty cool. I notice people like my stuff. I just put thumbnails and links to my YouTube channel and stuff, so that hopefully people will take a gander and come watch.
Yep.
So Beto, as far as training camp, love to hear your thoughts so far on like what you're hearing, what you're seeing out there. Obviously, there's lots of clips, lots of reports. It's always interesting, with training camp that there's sort of differences in reports because, different plays. It could be a tackle, it could be a sack, but they don't stop the play. So then something happens after and you kind of write it down and you're like, well, was this a completion or was it a sack? So, a lot of it is up for different interpretations.
It is. And I'm always listening to people like you or people that cover the 49ers that go to camp every day and watch what's taking place. I love entertainment and I see camp as entertainment. I see preseason as entertainment, but nothing really shows to me what the players are going to be into the actual action in the regular season. It's good to hear about this player. It's good to hear about that player, but there's always so much ups and downs in training camp that you can't really take it all like the gospel. You have to kind of just, listen to what people say and just get your own perspective of it. But I want to see the real games play live. I want to see how they do on the show, on the games itself. So listening to you report, listening to some of my favorite reporters who are credentialed and listen and watch the game. I just like to get different perspectives from different people on what they're saying about certain players. And like today, I heard a lot about Trey Lance doing really, really good. And I like that. I like to hear that. That's awesome that Trey Lance did very well today. And I'm more looking forward to asking you about training camp because you were there and you've been there for the last 4 days, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. Well, technically Friday was closed to the public. So that was just like reporters like Grant there on Friday. But I was there Wednesday and Thursday, Sunday, and today. So yeah, 4 days out of the last 5. Trey Lance had a good day today for sure. Zach Denizzi says he went 10 out of 10. I mean, no, he didn't go 10 out of 10. He had a ball that he threw away out of bounds, Grant said that he got sacked before that happened, so Grant didn't count that one. So Grant had him at 9 out of 10. I had him at 8 out of 10. There was one ball, I believe it was to Jordan Mason, where Jordan Mason kind of went the wrong way or didn't turn his head or whatever. It was a miscommunication. So, yeah, I mean, but pretty close to perfect for Trey Lance. He was definitely the best QB today. He was also good yesterday. Yesterday, Darnold was the better QB. Today, Darnold was still pretty good. I think he was 6 of 8. Purdy was definitely low man on the totem pole today, being about 10 of 14. He had an interception to Dre Greenlaw. Before that, he threw one short that was to Ayuk, where Ayuk kind of came back for it, and Lenore just slammed into him. So it was like a PI play. That is one of the first flags I've seen thrown during training camp. So it was one of those ones where I think I was telling you backstage, Jimmy G had a lot of these throws that were like so bad that they turn out good. The two that I really cite that are like that were underthrown by Jimmy, but they ended up being touchdowns, was one to Debo opening week in Detroit, where it was along the right sideline. And if Jimmy had actually thrown the ball well to Debo, it probably would have been broken up by the defender, but it was so short that the defender kind of flew by, and Debo doubled back across the field and scored a touchdown. Another one was like when Jimmy threw short to Emmanuel Sanders in New Orleans, and the defender bounced off of him and fell down, and he ran it in for a TD there. So this wasn't a TD, but it was a PI. And there was a scary moment where Clelin Ferrell hit Brock Purdy's arm, his surgically repaired arm, and it caused, obviously an incompletion. And I think there was one also out in the grass, where he had one that was off target and bounced to the receiver that didn't get a PI call on it. And so those are his 4 incompletions. But other than that, Purdy was pretty good. He threw well, like in the flats, and threw well short over the middle. And he had one nice one to CMC that was down the seam. And CMC scored a TD. It might have been the only TD of 11 and 11 practices. There was no red zone drills today where you see a lot of TDs. So that's one thing to note, though. Like when you're watching or hearing about Purdy and Lance, is that Lance hasn't had CMC at all. Like every time Purdy's been out and taken a rest day, which was the first day of practice Wednesday and yesterday on Sunday, both those times CMC also had a rest day, and they didn't have CMC with the second or thirds when Purdy was taking the first string reps. So Lance, I've been clamoring we want to see what he can do with CMC. And guess what? We still haven't, which is a little frustrating, but I'm sure it's still early, right? It's still only 5 practices in.
Very early.
Plenty of time left. And obviously we don't want to get CMC or Kittle or any of these superstars hurt. No. I can understand that. But so Sac Tennessee, I'm going to say no. I mean, the most positive said Grant Cohn said 9 out of 10. The guys I was with Rohan, Kroc, Jesse, and Ryan Hensley. Although I guess poor Ryan left a little early. There were 2 or 3 times today during practice where we thought it was over because they went on to do something else after 11-11s, and they popped back on and did more 11 on 11s. So I guess Ryan didn't see the final totals live. I'm sure he's found out about it since. But so it was Rohan, Raj, Kroc, and Jesse Naylor and myself. We all had Lance at 8 out of 10, but still a hell of a day. And I said yesterday, Darnold was the best QB yesterday. People were shocked, like, oh my God, I can't believe, because I've been calling him 6 Cent Sammy, and I don't think he'll win the competition, but he's been good the last 2 days. And I guess you never know what'll happen. Like, we kind of talked about a little bit backstage. Like, you and I are both in the same opinion. Like, we want as many good QBs as possible. We want them as healthy as possible, as ready as possible, as soon as possible. Probably going to need them all, or for sure. Yeah. I think we probably need at least 2 of them. Let's get them all ready. It's just the thing. I just hope Kyle can figure out who the best one is to start week 1. Because I got some doubts about that, because he had Purdy as QB3 to start last season. And I think even as a Lance fan, I can say that Purdy was our best QB last season. But maybe he wasn't without CMC. That's the thing. So I guess I don't know. But what else? We got a bunch of folks here. Bebop had an interesting fun fact. He said Steel City, the Golden Gate Bridge was made in his hometown of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, which makes sense. That Pennsylvania is known, and Pittsburgh especially, and Bethlehem's right near there, are known for, that's what they call it, the Steel City, and any massive steel structure like the Golden Gate Bridge would make sense that it might be made there. But I never knew that myself.
No, neither did I. That's good to know.
There you go. So what else we got? He said he's loving the pick with Croc and all the boys. Very cool. Love that straw. Oh, thanks.
It was.
Yeah, the straw hat's key because when you're standing up on the top, like the sun just beats down on the back of your neck. If you don't have that, somebody luckily before I went to camp warned me not to wear a visor because it doesn't protect the back, and that was good advice. And so yeah, it was good. And unfortunately, we snapped the picture before Rohan got there, so he's not in it. But I think that's 2 days in a row where the people I showed in the picture didn't include Rohan, sadly, but he was there both days. He just works, and so he gets there late, so we save him a spot. And luckily, like even if you don't specifically save him a spot, he's nice and slender, so he can kind of fit in, unlike a big body like me or Jesse or Brad Graham. We kind of almost take up 2 spots.
Yeah, at least he was there to help out to change the tire.
Yes. Oh, yeah. If anybody saw that, how many content creators does it take to change a tire? Yeah, the entrance to the Red Lot 1, where you park for training camp, at least for general admission training camp that I attended. For some reason, the entrance was blocked off to the regular entrance, and so the only way to get in through the regular entrance was through the exit, and there's a tire shredder on that. And so one of our people's tire got shredded on there. Luckily, only one, because his front one hit it and his back one hit it. But I guess there wasn't enough weight on the back one. It's a front wheel drive car, so the back one was spared. But then the gal who parked next to him hit all 4 tires on there, and 3 got shredded. So it was brutal. But yeah, John Chapman helped out. Raj was there with me. Rohan, Jesse, we all pitched in and got our compatriot moving again. But it was a good team effort to this is one of those things like where when something like that happens, you just feel kind of like, I don't know, just good to know that there are people there that have your back, let alone the fact that we were able to do it without even having them call us roadside assistance and wait around for an hour. But it's just, last thing you want to do is like, hey, all right, take care. Good luck with that. And everybody takes off, but everybody stuck around, even though I know some of those folks had shows that they normally do right after. So they made themselves late. And it's a nice feeling knowing that if something goes wrong, these folks got your back. And in fact, John Chapman is the one who got me my tickets for yesterday and today to training camp. So there's another way he had a fellow creator's back. Bashar in the house says, Bebop Jones, good idea. I wish I had one. I can do the same.
What's up, Bash?
Oh, he said he's jumping on the treadmill. Sorry. Be watching in the wings. There you go. Yeah, get that workout. It's important. I'm a little behind on mine. I've been busy with all this stuff. But and also, like, my rowing machine is in our garage, and it's like 100 degrees in there during the daytime. And then by the time it cools off at night, then I'm like ready for bed. So it's been a little bit. I need to get up earlier and go do that instead of getting on Twitter so early in the morning.
Yeah, I put my treadmill away about 20 years ago and left it there.
There you go. Just hey Ted and Beta, let's go Niners.
Hey Laura, what's up, girl? Good to see you.
Ryan says Brad reported that Brock's first 2 passes were bad. One of them was intercepted. Man, Trey didn't even do this bad the other day. That's one thing I was saying the other day was, I was today years old when I learned that throwing an incompletion in the dirt is worse than throwing a pick 6, because that's how some people were acting about Trey Lance throwing a couple of short incompletions. I know that's not good. Those are supposedly gimmies, and those are like the ones you really got to, but we all know that's the area he has to work on. And we know that he is strong at throwing those deep balls. And we've seen that the last 2 days. he had a laser to Kittle yesterday and a great one today. I think it was to Kittle again. I've forgotten now who it was. But he also had another nice one to Conley too that he's been hitting a lot. But yeah, I mean, Trey, he went 2 for 4 the other day, so that was not good for sure. Um, it's too early to say anything about any of these guys, but it's just nice that they all had a couple good days in a row.
Yeah,
Part of
it's
it.
good that Trey. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
I just wanted to say it's good that Trey did good today, but if you know Kyle Shanahan, those gimme throws when when it's second and whatever, you want to be facing when the first down, you want to face a 2nd and 4 or a second and 3, and then when you miss that gimme and you throw it to the ground, now suddenly you have to call a play for a 2nd and 10 instead of a 2nd and 4. That drives Kyle nuts. So you got to hit those easy throws, uh, always on time. Otherwise, Kyle's not going to, have trust in you. So I'm glad that Trey did better today than he did. But it's all training camp. It doesn't matter how many quarterbacks have looked like shit in training camp and just kill it in the regular season. So it is what it is.
I don't know why I just muted myself there. I wonder if my connection is bad here.
Hey, Don, welcome. You're muted again.
Are we good?
Now,
Can you hear me
I
now?
can hear you. Now I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, yeah. No, I mean, nothing's set in stone. Obviously, Purdy has the leg up based on how he played last year. But yeah, it's just good to see all our QBs playing well. And part of what I was going to say earlier was part of the success I think that all of our quarterbacks had yesterday was that Mooney Ward was out, and so we had a situation with Darnold where he was throwing to Ayuk, who was just on fire yesterday. I think he had 4 or 5 touchdowns yesterday, and a lot of the throws were against this guy Terrence Mitchell, who's just like this journeyman cornerback. Who I mean, I'm not gonna call him burnt toast, but he was definitely burnt toast yesterday. So, um, and Darnold did better, but like Lance, well, Darnold was throwing to Ayuk versus Scrubs. Lance was throwing to Scrubs versus the first team defense. So that made him look a little bit worse than it was. But I'm just, like I said, happy for as many good quarterbacks as possible, and we'll sort
Yes.
it out when we get there. I do have some lack of faith in Kyle to do that because he had Purdy as QB3 last year when he ended up probably being our best quarterback. Definitely better than Jimmy. But, we'll see what happens. I can't get too mad at him until some decisions have been made. But I am starting to lose a little faith in Kyle when it comes to the QBs. I'll just say that. Just because of Mahomes, passing on Mahomes for Cousins, and then we didn't get Cousins. Passing on Brady for Jimmy after the Super Bowl when Brady wanted to retire here. Not getting Stafford, and then of course like Hoyer, CJ, Mullins. There's been some stuff that it's time for Kyle to get this right. So I really hope he does.
The Tom Brady, but come on, Mahomes being Mahomes from that college. Sean Watson, he had 2 championships back to back in Clemson, so I can see him overlooking him on getting with Hoyer waiting for Cousins. But the whole Mahomes, he passed on Mahomes. Everybody pretty much passed Mahomes until Mahomes got taken by the Chiefs and he was developed by Andy Reid. There's no way anybody in the right mind would have seen Mahomes being Mahomes because he wasn't playing like that in college. So Deshaun Watson, yes. Mahomes, no. Mahomes was one of those players that was taken, and it's like, wow, But the whole point is he was waiting for Kyle. Kyle wanted to. I'm not defending him, but he wanted to build the from the defense upwards because Kyle, in his some weird mind, he figures that no matter what quarterback he has back there, he can win with, and you do need a top 10 or top 5 quarterback to be special. So I didn't like the idea that he took Solomon Thomas, but let's be real, Solomon Thomas would have planned out to be a great defensive end we would have loved it, but it didn't work out. So it is what it is. I'm a Clemson Tiger fan, so I wanted Deshaun Watson. The fact that they not take him, I was pretty pissed that year.
I wanted Deshaun Watson too, because he just won the Natty against Bama. I'm not really a Clemson guy, but I just like good play. I thought he played really well. And then I thought, even if we're not taking a QB, I thought we'd pick the wrong guy from Stanford and Solomon Thomas, because Christian McCaffrey went number 9 that year before Mahomes or Deshaun Watson. I think if we had him the whole time. And Bashar has a good point. Like and subscribe to both channels. If you're on TED Talks Ball, make sure you hop over to 49er Minded and give him a like and a subscribe. And same thing if you're on Beto's channel. Do the same for me at some point. Also, if you're like watching on a browser, this is something I just figured out the other day. Like, open up 2 browsers. Come on, how hard is that? Watch it on both. We both get the watch hours, right? I mean, like, that's just simple. If you're on a PC, if you're on a phone, I get it. You only got one screen. Do what you got to do. But if you're on a laptop,
bro, we're lazy,
or a computer, then you can just open up another browser, easy peasy. So Ryan says we got fun and games, absolutely. Everybody's just saying hi, but I do want to show them, because if people are in different channels, they may not see them.
What's up, Dion?
Siva said, what were the air yards? Darnold and Lance had more air yards today. Purdy had the one throw to CMC that was a seam, but the rest were like short over the middle or like dump offs in the flat. Yeah, Darnold and Lance had the most air yards, and they had the most yesterday too. They had bigger arms in general, and honestly, I don't think Brock's arm is 100% back from the surgery either. But I'm sure it will be by week 1. I think they're doing it. They're being careful. They're giving him rest. They're doing the 2 days on, 1 day off. And in fact, even they had him on Thursday and Friday. Saturday was a day off, and then they gave him Sunday practice off. So they're not even just doing 2 days on, 3rd day off. They're doing 2 practices on, 3rd practice off, even if there's a rest day, between the practices. Yeah. So they're being very careful. So I just hope they're not rushing them back, because that was my one big fear, was that we would rush them back and, either do more damage, like almost happened with Clelin Ferrell today, or, just like he's at 90% and he never gets to 100% because he stopped rehabbing and he's, throwing and icing. And, once you're in a throwing cycle, you're not really going to increase arm strength after that, at least not as much as you are rehabbing. Bash was saying, Steve-O, what are those? Haha, just kidding. Oh, air yards. Yeah, it's a big point of contention for sure. Just like player reps. That's why I made that little cheerleader joke yesterday about the players I want to see get more reps.
Hey, real quick before I forget, when you get a chance, mention about the fight that broke out today in pads.
Big fight today. It was like I would say bench clearing brawl, but there's no bench, obviously, at training camp. But like everybody was in there, and it was like almost like
That's
2 separate fights. It looked like Tay Martin at the end was still going, but I don't know if he was the originator. Grant said he thought Juwan Jennings, and he's definitely closer to the action, being a reporter right on the field than we were, like a full field away. It rotates. So yesterday, the 11-11s were close to the general admission bleachers where most of the people sit. But today they were on the other field closer to the VIP bleachers. So I'll trust Grant to say Juwan Jennings, but it definitely. We thought Tay Martin and Ambry Thomas, but I think we'll wait and see. I'm sure someone will come out with something official, but till then, it was hard to tell because literally I just didn't even notice it until like a few people, a bunch of them, like, look, fight, and they're like, oh, fight, and by then you couldn't see much. But definitely Tay Martin came out of it swinging at the end, like. After it seemed like it was over, he fell onto the ground and you could see him. He was like flailing, trying to punch, and there were punches thrown. It was, we were like, man, let's not hurt each other before the season starts here, guys.
Yeah.
It was a little bit scary.
According to 49 Minded, said that Qantas Knight and Tay Martin were the 2 culprits.
All right, so we were right. Tay Martin, and then not Ambry, but Qantas Knight. Yeah, I know the defense was talking a lot of trash. And so, the offense sometimes get sick of it. Last year it was Ayuk and Fred Warner going at it. I think a couple times, right? Last camp. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully that's, knock on wood. Hopefully that's the last fight. We'll see.
Yeah, it just goes as far as it being there, bro. It doesn't. Trust me, it doesn't uh, go any further from the field with those guys.
Yeah, there you go. Ryan from Nowhere Sports says Sam would be better not competing, just getting ghosts out, learning because Sam coming late in the season and play confident, knowledgeable might be really handy. Yeah, obviously, if it comes down to like Josh Johnson or Sam Darnold, I'm going to take Sam Darnold all day. But there's some thought that, like, I mean, I said earlier in the offseason, I've been calling him 6 Cent Sammy. Probably have to stop doing that because he's had a couple good practices in a row. Um, but I did say earlier in the offseason, like, I can see some parallels with him and Alex Smith. They both had 5 OCs in their first 5 seasons. They obviously both played differently. Alex
Yep.
Smith is very conservative. Sam Darnold is very much going to rip it and go for it. But, like, you could sacrifice some extra turnovers if you're really ripping it downfield. It still could end up with the same net result as an Alex Smith type player. So I wouldn't be shocked to see that. I just don't think, I think he'll be better. I just don't think he'll ever be good. But we'll see. Maybe playing the system will revitalize his career. It's not out of the question for sure. I got Jesus in the gang.
What's up,
Said Matter
Jesus?
gang. Brooks Anderson here, official BNA Music. My Photoshop pick content goal. Oh yeah, Brooks. If you guys haven't, check out Brooks Anderson's Twitter. He superimposed the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree onto the content creators that I was sitting with today. He made me into McVay. He turned Croc into McDaniel, and Jesse he turned into who was our
Really?
VP last year? D'Amico, and I think he had Rohan as. Oh no, Rohan wasn't there, so it was Raj as Lafleur, and who am I missing? Ryan Hensley was Robert Sala. So he cut and pasted their faces onto our faces.
So from
It was
everybody in the
definitely
pic,
funny.
from everybody in the picture that you took, which was a great
Yeah.
picture by the way, who's the tallest to the smallest in your opinion?
Uh, Tallest is Ryan Hensley. He's about 6'3".
Okay.
And Jesse is probably 6'1". I'm about 6 feet. Rohan's about 6 foot, 6'1". And Raj is petite. He's not a big guy for sure. He's
Because I
probably
haven't met none
uh,
of none of you
five
guys in
eight, five
person. That's
nine.
why I asked.
Yeah, no. And then Brad Graham was there a couple days ago. Well, he's there every day, but he was sitting near us a couple days ago, and he's probably built like me, and instead of 6 foot, he's probably 6'2" or 6'3". So he's a real big dude. But Jesse's good sized. Somebody was talking about content creator fights, and somebody elected me to be one of the people to fight, and I was like, man, I'd take Jesse. He's almost as big as me, and he like works out with the punching bag and does all that
Jesse
stuff. I
does a
think
lot of what do you call them, martial arts?
MMA,
Yeah,
yeah,
MMA.
yeah,
Yeah.
or whatever it is, yeah, or just MMA, martial arts,
How
yeah.
tall is what's his name? You said he came on your show. You met him today for the first time. Can't think of
Oh,
his
John
name.
Chapman.
No. Um, the one that comes with Peacock. I can't think of his name. Played for
Oh,
the Saber
Eric
Cats.
Crocker,
Eric
Crocky.
Crocker.
Yeah,
Did you mention him?
he's probably 6'1",
Yeah.
6 feet.
Bashes,
Yeah,
I'm
he's
the
about.
tallest. I'm only 5'11", bro.
There you go.
So they're taller than me.
Yeah, I had the 49er straw hat to protect the back of my neck for
I saw that
sure.
hat. I thought you moved it back up because you wanted to be seen on the camera.
No, I wear it back like to cover the back of my neck for sure. Also, like, it's a little small on my head, so if I pull it all the way down, like, it starts to like
But I do like
squeeze
it,
my
man. It's a
dome.
nice hat.
It's
Larry
been.
Kruger's been wanting to get a hat. You should have told him about where you got yours.
He needs to. I got Scott on Amazon, so yeah. 49er minded, 10 the contrast. Yeah, we saved the day, no doubt about it. Keep people from getting stranded at Levi's, because you got to imagine if you're telling a repair truck to come into a parking lot to find you, they're gonna be like, what?
Yeah, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah. So people are just saying hi. We got Don Dodson in the house saying hello, Niner family. And hello, big brother Beto, Niner Beto.
My little sis.
Hello to me. Thanks, Don. Appreciate it. Bash saying hi. And
the chat's popping.
It is, and I'm so far behind. The Mahomes thing killed me in 2017. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a big Mahomes fan. I don't know. It's just the thing is, it's just like any one of those things can be explained away when it happened, but like when and as a sum total, and now we're 6 years in and we're still unsettled at QB, then it
Correct.
gets harder to justify, right? When you're looking in hindsight, and again, we're not, you know, it'd be another thing if they like scouted Mahomes and just said, "Oh, I don't think he's got what we want," but they didn't even scout him. So like that's where it bugs me. Like we never had a chance to see if we could figure out what.
No, because Kyle was stuck on getting Cousins. He was
Cousins. Got Joe Stevens in the house. Great Seahawks creator. Good guy.
What's
Says,
up,
guys,
Joe?
we have football game played this freaking week. Is that the Hall of Fame game, I guess, coming up? I think the Jets are playing because I saw somewhere that Zach Wilson was going to play. So maybe he can redeem himself. Rich Kelt's in the house. What are you talking about? Mahomes was balling in college. Boom. And it says, yo, Joe.
Well, you are behind.
Kelt's one of Mahomes. I'm not sure if I confused you. Should I just skip to the end? And
Yes.
got Terror
Probably
Dome in the
best.
house. Let me just call out who's here. Just if there's new people real quick. Kyle. QBS. QB sadomasochism. Purposely deny himself the pleasure of finishing the job of winning the Super Bowl. Is that like Sting with his Kyle's got tantric number 6 ring? He won't finish the job.
As bad as Kyle is, though, I wouldn't trade him right now for anybody out there that might be.
No, yeah, that's the thing. I'm not like fire Kyle. I just want him to do better.
You know what? I
I
would
mean,
trade
not
him
fire
for
Kyle
Andy
yet. I mean,
Reid.
I think this whole situation right now could define his legacy, though. I think if he were to have just traded Trey Lance away and all of a sudden Trey Lance is going 10 for 10 on another team, granted it's practice, but just, and keeps doing that and, all of a sudden starts balling out, like, dude, that's not a good look.
No,
My
it's
fights
not.
are synonymous with training camp. Got to have them. Question a team that doesn't. There you go. All right. Fair enough, T-Dome. We all get into our fights and
That
then
means
usually
they're passionate, bro. They
mend
want to
our
win.
bridges. And make up. And there was a time when Jesse and I had a beef over Debo and stuff. So we've made up since then. And then 2 of the creators I was with today had a beef, and they talked it out. I think they're good to go. So
it happens, bro. It's just
we
a
come
matter
up,
of opinion.
we fall apart, and we come back together. And main thing is just make it good long term.
Sometimes it's just the best thing to do is just to move on.
That's true. Sometimes it is. I'm so glad you're on right now. Tonight is J-Last Junior's Giants practices tonight.
Yeah, she plays for the Giants, Junior Giants, her daughter.
Ah, very cool. Very cool. Bash says drop your Twitter handle. Oh, yeah, so people can go find it's Brooks Anderson. Here, I'll do it. Well, anyway, I don't want to do it for him. I'll let him do it. B&A Music 88. There it is. Yeah, he did it. There you go. So yeah, you can check out the picture. It's pretty funny for sure. Contras Night. Oh, here we go. And then Bash dropped the actual link to the post. Beto, you're the tallest. Rubbing shoulders with the top content creators. I know everybody is like goats and legends. I'm like, dude, that's not me. I hope to be someday. Like,
I might be the
trying
widest,
to work to
but I don't know about the tallest.
No. There you go.
I might have everybody beating widest, but
there we go. And Bash says Jesse wins all the fights. He's trained in MMA. There you go.
Jesse.
Laura Cat, 5'3". Jesse is a wrestler. Ted, you have no chance. That's what I was saying. Like, somebody is saying they'd take me and to fight content creators. I'm like, I'd take Jesse. He's almost as big as me and he knows what he's doing. And then someone said Ted versus Brad Graham. I'm like, dude, Brad Graham is
Ted, I might
bigger.
take you on Twitter, though. You're pretty nasty.
And I didn't. I'm pretty nasty on Twitter. That's true. That's probably what people are thinking. And then I didn't say it on Twitter, but I'll say it here. Like, Brad Graham is also a lot meaner than me, too. So, like, I'm pretty much a nice guy. Like, if you get me really mad, like, I'll go bananas and, like, you definitely don't
So
want to
you go
take
from
that
one
on.
extreme to the other to being really
Oh
nice to
yeah,
like really pissed.
just like they used to call me Manimal in middle school, like because they're like, oh, I don't want to fight Ted, man. He'll go psycho on me, man. Like no
Well, you
way.
look psycho in that picture. If you look at that picture with you guys
Oh,
took,
somebody said it. Somebody said like, oh, it looks like he's about to do something to Jesse, and I was like,
yeah, it's
shh,
like shit.
don't warn
Everybody's
him.
smiling, and you're like, yeah, bro. It's like it's not a most wantedness picture.
Fanboyed out. And
What's that,
anyway,
David Corona?
Ash says, am I still way behind? No, I'm catching up here. So
Yeah,
we
you're
got
catching up.
Madman Jedi. Let's trade number 19 and number 5 for some draft capital. I
Ooh, not right
mean,
now. Not the way
yeah,
Debo's looking.
yeah.
No,
Debo's ripped in shape, and CMC was healthy every game last season, but the 2 seasons before, 2021, 2020, he had some issues. And now, granted, like I think 4 out of his 6 seasons, he's played full complete seasons. So that is more normal that he does that. But injuries are a concern for CMC. They're a concern for Kittle. They're a concern for Debo. So I'm glad we got the redundancy. Ayuk's playing out of his mind, but I think we want it all. I think we want it all, at least for this year, and hopefully we can make it work even further. So we'll see.
I can't wait to see Debo and Ayuk what they're gonna do this year, man. Those guys are looking great in camp. Ayuk always
Yeah,
looks great.
especially Ayuk. Ayuk is, I mean, he's just like he's the
Do you
best
agree
player
that
in
he should
camp.
be a captain this year, bro?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's like I was saying, he's obsessed with football. That's exactly what you want. Somebody who's not only physically gifted, but just like the eat, sleep, breathe football. Like they're just on a mission. Like the Blues Brothers, on a mission from God, man. Um, so what else we got? We got Terradome Hall of Fame game, Jets versus Browns, August 3rd. I wonder if Deshaun Watson will play. He probably needs it. I haven't
Really?
been very impressed with him thus far. Got 49er Jeff in the house. Hey, what's
He's
up,
he's too busy in the
fellas?
parlor getting massage.
There you go. Content creator beefs on next for all though. Terradome and I had a little beef on
Geraldo.
East Coast Red and Gold. That was some good watching, man. We got into it a little bit regarding ESPN and whatnot, and there was some finger wagging and some little bit of I don't know, cursing. I think I
You're
said
always
beef.
getting in with somebody. I saw you in a different show. I didn't recognize none of the. It's something like football, fantasy football, or something.
Oh, TSS Fantasy. Yeah, I
Yeah,
post. I as I said, I posted a clip, but I like recorded it on my phone because I couldn't figure out a good way to find a clip long enough. And
I'm like, this
and then I
guy's getting.
used
This guy
Incha.
gets in with everybody regarding the
Well, he
quarterback.
called Lance a bust. You
I
can't
know. I
call
heard
Lance
that.
a bust after less than 5 starts. You
That was
just can't
dumb.
do it. You
Yeah,
can't. You can't. And he's supposed to be a 49ers fan.
you
So I'm
can't.
like, oh, come on.
I don't know what Trey's going to be, good or bad, but there's no way you can call him a bust within 5 games. There's not enough tape.
That's right. I need
Just
to
like you
follow up
can't
with that
call
guy.
Brock Purdy a Hall of Famer either.
We were going to try and go live last Wednesday night, but my wife had a couple meetings, and I got to definitely follow up with. I think his name is Dan Mater, and we're going to do a show together. So
That's
hopefully
awesome.
we'll get some more fireworks. It's always fun as long as we all know that we all like each other, and it's not it's just sports talk. It's not.
Exactly.
I don't hate you or anything like that. I just get mad at your opinions.
We are full grown men, bro. If we let our tantrums kick in, this maybe social media shouldn't be a part of our lives.
There you go. Terradome, that would make a great show. Our cat
It
saying
would.
hi. Manimal. Ha ha ha. Yeah, no, that's what they called me. They're like, you're going to freak out on me, man. I'm not going to fight. In fact, I had to I called one guy out. He wouldn't go fight. And then another friend of ours was like, oh, call him out in front of Rick. He was like the head guy, the the ringleader. He's like, if you call him out in front of Rick, then he'll have to go. And so I waited and I called him out in front of Rick. And it's like, okay.
See, I don't believe in fighting. I believe in stabbing you or shooting you, but not fighting.
That's a lot smarter, That
Why get dirty?
definitely gets the job done. What up, 49ers? All day, every day.
I'm
David
kidding.
Corona in the house. Bash just saying hi. 49ers by 40.
Laura says that you better watch out. Don't mess with her. She'll take you on.
Yeah, well, Laura, I think she was saying she's coming to camp this week in the VIP section, the elusive VIP section. So, what day is that, Laura? You have to let us know. Everybody's just saying hi. Oh, or what do you train? We got crazy guy in the house, just
What's up,
back from
crazy
my
guy?
first day of football practice.
He
Nice,
likes
crazy guy.
he
Oh,
likes the Cowboys
Cowboys, huh?
and
So
his brother's a
were
Niner
you
fan.
so crazy guy? Were you in where is it, Thousand Oaks or somewhere down there in Southern California, where the Cowboys they practice out here in SoCal, right? For their training camp, usually because it's too hot in Texas. Or maybe they only used to and they don't do that anymore. I don't know. But where was it, crazy guy? Fill us in. And so we should probably we're kind of caught up or close enough on the chat, but some other interesting stuff from today. Today was the first. Well, first of all, the first day of pads, and also first day of one-on-one. So yesterday was the first day of red zone drills, and today was the first day of. Get Jess on here. Jess from East Coast Red and Gold. Jess, tell us when you're going live. Is it tonight at 5, or have you guys officially switched to Thursdays at 5? I know the last two
No,
with Jesse Sapolu and Burford were on Thursdays, but it's
that's
still on Wednesdays at 5.
yeah. It's
So
because she has special guests. Sometimes when you have guests, you have to accommodate their schedule, so you have to make adjustments to yours. But they're normally every Wednesday at 5 p.m.
that's what I thought. So today, so in about an hour and 10 minutes, check out East Coast Red and Gold, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Ty Alston, Maddie B, Bex, and of course the lovely Jess. Rampant Bar says, Ted, if you said, Ted, if crossed you, watch out. I thought you might train a discipline. No, I don't train to fight at all, but definitely I know how to. And the main thing is you just use your size, tackle somebody, get them on the ground, and then ground and pound. That's my technique.
Yeah, I don't fight, bro. I just take you to court.
There you go. Even smarter. Get rich.
Yep.
Make that dollar.
Because once you hit him back, you can't take him to court no more.
There you go. And Bash was impressed by the way I talked to that guy, or proud by the way I talked to that guy. Thanks, Bash. But yeah, so there were some one-on-one drills today, and I recorded the stuff for the like the receptions and stuff, but there wasn't really that much groundbreaking stuff. Yeah, Drake Jackson was good. But really, yeah, he was one of the top guys today. But
I love what I'm hearing.
you know
about
who
him.
was ahead of Drake Jackson though, and who's been really, really good in camp so far is Javon frickin' Kinlaw, the guy we didn't give the 5th-year option to. He is balling.
Really?
In fact, Rohan was mentioning that Javon Kinlaw's never done one-on-ones because he's always been like nursing his knee at this point in the season. The preseason, the off season, what have you.
I heard he's finally completely healed from that issue.
Well, I doubt that because he has tendonitis and arthritis, and I think both of those things are like progressive, where they never
this
get
must
better.
Be the best way he's felt.
Maybe the ACL is healed, and maybe he's not getting swelling all the time after he practices, at least. So Kinlaw was one of the best.
Wow.
Here's a shocker. Alex Barrett, who I think everybody thought was going to end up on the practice squad, was just like the guy just looked like Jack be nimble, Jack be quick out there. Nobody could block him. Yeah, Barrett. And you know who else looked really good?
I heard my boy McKivitz
looked really good. And that's, something we've all been worrying about. Now, granted, it's just one-on-ones, but it's a great start. Start. We are all hoping he could be a better pass blocker than McGlinchey, and so far he is.
Well, actually, he is a better pass blocker. He's just not good against the run.
So right, on that part, getting it to the second level and run blocking. Yeah. So then some. So that's the good side. The bad side, Clelin Ferrell was pretty ineffective as a rusher. Larry Kruger's boy, Spencer Wagey, didn't do much as a pass rusher.
What about Bell?
Burford was not very good, and that's a little bit concerning because he was platooning with Brunskill, and I'm sure we could probably platoon in with Feliciano at guard
It's first day of
if we
pads,
need
bro.
to. Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's first
Let's
day,
keep that
but
perspective.
just if we're gonna clap for
No,
McKivitz,
you're
then we
right.
can
You're right.
say
You're right.
you can say Burford was looking a little sus, and then there was no Trent Williams, which makes all the offensive numbers for today look even more impressive because you can only assume that if Trent Williams is out there, the QBs would have had even more time to survey the field and make better throws.
Jesse says, "What about Khalil Davis, bro? How has he been looking?"
I haven't really seen much of Kalia Davis, to be honest. So I think he's
Oh,
buried on the depth chart like third string. And I don't think he's really doing much. But like I said, they were on the far field today. So, look to the reporters who were close to that. They could really see that stuff. I mean, we had trouble even telling who was the intended target and is it a completion and whatever from where we were sitting
talk
today.
about that. I remember in the old days when I used to go to training camp, they had everything in the middle. Now they separate everything. I don't like that.
Yeah, there's two fields, and so if they're in the far field, it's a long way from because there's there's like the field, and there's some safe space, then there's like ropes, then there's space before your bleachers. So it's probably a good 70 yards to the far field, maybe more, 80. It's a long way. So it's hard to see. Hard to see. And then there's guys standing on the sideline too, that are blocking your vision. The players that are waiting to sub in and sub out. And it's happening fast. That's the thing I always try to explain to people. Like when you're at training camp, when you're in a game, it's like it's the same people in there. Maybe one player or two players sub in and out, but it's like all the same dudes. But in training camp, it's like they're playing, and when one quarterback goes out, like the whole line, all the skills players, everybody subs in and out, and so it's a lot harder to keep track of who's who,
That is
especially
true. That is true.
when they're wearing the white jerseys. It's harder to read those numbers from afar. So, what's up, Rick? Thanks for joining. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a great discipline for everyone. You can mess people up bigger than you, just good technique. Similar idea, I think. Get them down on the ground. Jiu-Jitsu, I'm pretty sure, is a lot of ground effects. Damian Lee, what's up, Faithful? What's up, Damian? Thanks for joining. He says, I'm doing okay. Go for Niners. Absolutely. Devo Supremo in the house. LOL, Dion gonna lose that bet with Kinlaw. I don't know what the bet was. Dion Johnson, as in Swifty. I don't know.
I think Dion from Niner gang, maybe 49er gang or Niner gang.
Interesting. Larkat's Ryan, can you teach me? Haha. I don't study a discipline, unfortunately. I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'll miss you tonight, Jess. Tonight is JLo's last night for baseball. Absolutely. Rick Diaz says if they didn't get into a fight, someone can get hurt. Someone, you got to be careful in that fighting. Yeah, I mean, especially like you can hurt your fingers trying to punch through a face mask. It's easy.
But when you get caught up in the moment, you're heated up and you're in competition. It's easier said than done. Then don't get into a fight. Well, it's easier said than done. You know what I mean? You're in the heat of the moment. You're passionate. You want to win. You want to compete. Somebody says the wrong thing, or somebody makes it, and they're always trash talking, which I love. And sometimes when you're heated up, that one extra trash talk can get you over the edge.
Just saw that Burford was good, LOL. Well, maybe that he was good in the 11 on 11s, which is what really counts, the scrimmage. But in the one-on-ones, he was getting beat pretty badly. But, it's like, with a guard, they aren't necessarily used to having to defend an open space. They're in a phone booth between a tackle and the center. So you don't have to be good at being nimble necessarily to be a guard in pass protection. So that could totally explain it right there. And like, we were pretty happy with Burford last year, and he sounds like he's
Yeah,
rocked up this year. So there's
there's a
every
lot of tape
reason
on him
to
already.
assume that he will be fine. It's just the consensus of the group I was with was that he did not have a good one-on-one session. I heard Jesse that Burford didn't look good today. I think he'll bounce back, though. I'm surprised to hear McKivitz did well.
Why
I think
surprised?
everybody did pretty well in the 11-on-11 just based on the quarterback's completion percentage. I mean, we literally had out of, 14, 24, and 8, we had 32 pass attempts, and we had 2, 4, 8. So 24 out of 32 for our quarterbacks today. That's a crazy high completion percentage, even for, padded practice in camp. I can't. From here, Laura, you have to find a gym. Be careful. You'll learn a lot about yourself if you stick it out. There you go. Can be good stuff to learn how to fight. Shout out to all those faithful across the country, across the world. Why are you go 49ers faithful? I'm 49ers faithful because
What is it? Shout out to all the faithful across the country and across the world. Faithful, why are you go Niner faithful?
why are you Niner faithful? I think is how I read it. Just took the go out. I am because I have been since
Maybe way
76.
to go, Niner faithful.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Bash was saying I wanted to do BJJ way back. I saw the first UFCs. I was like, this form of martial arts is unstoppable. It was the first UFCs where Gracie dominated. Remember those for sure. Steve says Poirier got knocked out. All right, we're getting way into the UFC here. It's a football show, folks. Come on. Let's stay on
See what
topic.
you did, Ted? No,
Yeah, sawed off here. He said, "What up, Ted? Not much. Sawed off. Thanks for joining." Yeah. So, it was a good practice. You know what's been great about practice? The best thing about practice is literally, other than Mooney Ward having a minor groin pull that kept him out yesterday, but he was really back today, at least partially back today. So that's good. I mean, there's really been no injuries. I mean, really the only, knock on wood,
that's good.
literally figured. Yeah, I mean, really, it was like Darrell Luter has that bone bruise, but and that was before. That was back from
That's even
OTAs
before
and
training
minicamp.
camp started, though. But yeah,
He's been out every morning stretching, and he looks pretty good. He doesn't look like he's in a lot of pain. So, Bash says, "You talk about practice?"
like Jim Mora,
Yeah,
practice. Don't talk to me about no practice.
it's not everything, but it's something for sure. I had somebody telling me today that the whole competition's going to be during the preseason games, and I'm like, I don't know. Preseason games is really a lot of scrubs on scrubs, and the good QBs you won't see much of them. The top QBs. So I think we'll learn the most from these practices
That
and
scrimmage
the
against the
practices
Raiders.
with the Raiders. Yes, sir.
You're going to learn more on that scrimmage
Yes,
against the Raiders than you
sir.
are in preseason.
I think we're going to see how many times do you think Fred picks off Jimmy, Beto?
3 times, bro. 3 times, and Jimmy wouldn't even get on the field yet, and he would get picked up. You probably get picked off in practicing before the scrimmage.
I could see
That's
that.
going to be fun. That's going to be fun to watch.
I'm just glad he passed his
televise
physical. And he's officially a Raider. I know that happened since we last were on. And I was probably telling you, man,
We officially got
I
a
just
third
see
round
it
pick
if he
for
fails. If he fails that physical, and then somehow he passes it later on, and not for them, they've already made their way and done something different. And then it's like Kyle deciding between Sam Darnold and Jimmy G. He's going to take Jimmy G, the proven commodity, over Sam Darnold.
I don't know. He really likes Sam Darnold, Kyle.
And now I'm starting to see why. I mean, Sam's looked pretty good the last couple of days. I think it was 8 for 10 yesterday and 6 of 8 today.
Sometimes you just got to give a quarterback that had a bad real deal with a bad team. You got to remember, he went to the Jets, bad organization, bad, especially more than it is today. And then he went to the Panthers. So you go under
because
Kyle,
Joe Douglas, their GM is starting to do good things, and now they got Saleh who's doing good things. So wrong.
So we got to give Sam Donald, and again, the better he does, the better for our team as a whole. Because if we ever need him for whatever reason, at least we can know we can win games with him. Hopefully.
There you go. So if Trey keeps up like this and keeps playing well, Beto, do you think that there should be a competition between him and Purdy for the QB1 position? And let's say Purdy keeps struggling. He's still having trouble throwing the deep outs. He can throw short stuff over the middle and the check downs, in the flats. But he's not really challenging the field the way he did last season in 2022. Is there any way you would ever think it would make sense for Lance and Purdy to compete for the starting job?
No. I think I based on and this is not me hating on Trey, whether people want to say I hate him, that's fine. I've seen enough of what happened last year in real games where it really matters. This is just practice. I'm glad to hear that Trey's doing great. I want him to continue to do great. But let's be honest, the only opportunity Trey is going to be able to show that he can outtake Brock would be in regular games. So if Brock gets hurt, and under Kyle, we know that happens quite often, then Trey can come in and showcase what he can do. But based on what I've seen last year, I got to rock with Brock. But I'm very happy to hear positive things about Trey, and bring up his spirits. So I'm glad he had a great camp today. I hope he continues to have a great camp, but I don't think he has to be like extra good, and Brock has to be like extra trash for him not to lose it. But I think it's based off of last year they go by. What's up, Mariah?
There you go, Mariah in the house, faithfully giving us some looks. Got Thomas in the house. So what's good, Ted? Just started listening to you and appreciate your content. Hey, thanks, Thomas. Appreciate that.
Go.
Make sure you check out Beto too. Give him a like and subscribe. We talked about it earlier in the show, but we've got some new folks in here. If you're watching on my channel, make sure you pop over to Niner Sickness and give him a like and subscribe. Same thing if you're on Niner Sickness. If you could do the same for me on TED Talks Ball. Yes. Also, like I was saying, if you're on a browser, open up 2 browsers. Give us both the likes at once.
That's what I'm having right now.
Why decide?
I got both browsers open right now.
There you go. But then don't you get echoes? Or you guess you could just put it on mute?
Yeah, I only need to listen to here. I don't need to listen down there.
There you go. Beto asked, or not Beto, Bash asked, Ted, what's your take on Brandon Allen so far? Hey, he's the 4th best QB. There's a reason we got him for vet minimum off the street. He's all right. He can throw quickly. He can, he's a vet. He could probably win us a game or two if we need to.
I heard his long ball way, shape, or form.
Yeah, no, in no way, shape, or form should he be competing, sucking away reps from Purdy, Darnold, or Lance. It should be Purdy number 1 until proven otherwise, although I'm starting to think we should have a competition there. But also, I think Lance and Darnold have looked really good lately. Maybe it's, all right, close your ears, Beto. But I'm going to say, if it keeps up like this, that Purdy shouldn't even be in the competition for QB1. It should be Darnold and Lance competing for QB1 if it keeps up like this. But we'll just see what happens. I think Purdy will get better. I think his arm is not 100% once he's practicing 100% and back to himself, I think he'll reassert his dominance. But the last 2 days, Purdy didn't practice yesterday, but Lance and Darnold have been really good the last 2 days,
and that's
better than Purdy has looked all camp. But again, these are his first practices. He wasn't in OTAs and minicamp. There's a lot of good reasons why we shouldn't expect Purdy to look better yet. This is
the thing with me.
But I'm just saying, if that continues, which is unlikely.
This is the thing with me, bro. It doesn't matter. Like, if people tell me, Trey looks better than Brock, that's good. Or Sam Donald looks better than Brock, that's good too. They're all competing. You asked me a fair question about do I think that Trey I say no based on what I saw last year, but doesn't mean that I want and only Brock. I'm so stuck on Brock. If Trey can win the spot, I don't care who wins it. We can start with Sam Donald. I'm not saying that he's going to be the starter. Don't twist my words, but whoever's under center, I'm going to support and I'm going to trust that Kyle puts the right player in the right position to win. And I'll support anyone back there. Do I have my preference? Yes, but I'll support whoever's out there.
There you go. Yeah, me too. I always said even Jimmy G, where basically like I would root for Jimmy every Sunday. It's just the other 6 days of the week. It depends on how they did, right? So, and like people get mad at Lance, stands like me, who like forgive what Lance is doing, but it's like, people are like, well, why do you have so much patience for Lance than Darnold? I'm like, well, Darnold has 55 freaking starts and Lance has 5. Like if Lance still is having trouble after some starts and some starts with CMC and Kittle and Debo and Ayuk, like all the same weapons that Purdy had, then my patience is going to grow thin with him too. I don't have unlimited patience. Just as for a very young, very raw QB, yeah, I'm going to give him more leeway than someone like I said with 55 starts, like Jimmy G or Sam Darnold. I think they both have right around the same number, oddly enough. So everybody's just saying hi, just.
Hey, real quick, I just want to give a shout out
Ryan's that's gonna be
to
blocked.
Mariah and her channel, 49 Faithfully. Make sure to check out her channel. She's doing great things. Her and TL are doing amazing things. She's back. She was on vacation. She's back. Her and TL will be having some great shows. I just want to give her a shout out in her channel.
Absolutely. Damian Lee saying hi to Bashar. All right, we're almost caught up. D Queen. Ryan says sipping off my 40 and smoking a blunt. Oh man, I remember those days. Glory days. Everybody's saying hi. Hit the like button. Hit the emojis. Na. Are we saying goodbye? Is that what we're saying? Na. Hey. There we go. Ted, any talk on Feliciano? I mean, I just talked about him. I was just saying that I could see him if Burford still needs to platoon at right guard the way he did with Brunskill. I think Feliciano is the person to do that. He's tough. He plays guard and center quite well. Some people are saying he's better than Brunskill, but I don't know if he'll be better at filling in like that, but we'll see. That's a possibility, but I haven't heard much talk about Feliciano, to be honest. And I haven't paid enough attention to the O-line myself of who was in and who was doing what. I've been mostly, I've been mostly focused on the quarterbacks, because I think that's why the training camp tickets were such a hot item this year, as everybody knew it was going to be a QB battle and everyone wanted to see what would happen.
Yep. You got any more tickets? Are you even going to more training camps, Ted, or are you done for training camp this year?
No. I got a few more. I got tomorrow, Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
So tomorrow and Thursday, I were part of the original 4 that I hooked up through my buddy's season ticket holder code that I got from him. Yesterday and today were from John Chapman. Friday, Niner Nate got me a ticket, and then we're going to do a show after. I think Bash is going to join us too. So it'll be a 3-way show with me, Bash, and Niner Nate Friday afternoon around 3 probably. And then Saturday the 5th and Sunday the 7th, I don't have tickets yet. Sounded like one person today might not be able to make the 5th. So if they can't make it, they said they'd give me their ticket. And then I don't know. Yeah, I would. It's hard. Tickets are super hard to come by. Even like top content creators, which clearly I'm not a top content creator, at least not yet.
You're doing good, bro. You're doing good.
They're struggling. People are struggling to get these tickets. So I'm trying to get some for Bash too. If anybody has any for Bash, hit him up. He wants to come. He will come join. I want to meet him. But if I had money, I'd buy some for people. But man, I'm broke as a joke. So I remember those days. Everybody's laughing.
You have a baby, bro.
Cypress
Of course,
Hill.
you're broke.
And one on the way. I got a new son arriving in September 23rd. So
there you go.
It's going to be
your plate's full, my friend.
Yeah, you'll be seeing a little bit less on me on Twitter. I'm hoping to keep my YouTube presence the same, but Twitter's going to take a big hit. which
What?
might not be the worst thing. Might not be the worst thing. 200K tweets in under 4 years. I don't know.
By the way, Twitter doesn't
Probably
have
could
the
use a
bird no
little
more. They got
update.
rid of the bird and they put the X on
Oh
Twitter.
yeah,
What the heck?
X. Yeah, yeah. I mean, how long till Elon runs it into the ground? I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Thomas is cooking dinner. What are you making, Thomas? I'm all for anybody who's interested or thinks that they would like to hear that kind of content. I am thinking about either rolling out a different channel or just making it part of TED Talks Ball, like a TED Talks Grub thing where I talk about food because I'm a total foodie, and I find that like when I say something is like a can't miss recommendation, like you can't miss, people love it. The funniest one was Bash and I were doing a show, and I was like, oh, I got this prime rib rub that I love that I put on all my steaks and everything. And I was like, oh, yeah, me too. It's the one with the little Golden Gate Bridge on it. Let me just kill my cam here for 1 second so I don't get too close up. But here, I'm still here. And we were comparing notes, and it's the Carl's prime rib rub. This stuff is fire. How come I can't get this lined up with
Really?
the camera here?
No,
Yeah, it's
more to the
so
middle.
good.
Go the other way.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Carl's. It's CARL''S gourmet prime rib rub. They used to sell it at a local store near me here called Draggers, and then they ran out. Maybe they have it back. I don't know. I don't go there. My wife goes there. It's a little fancy for me. I'm kind of like
I
simple
like to make
Trader
my
Joe's.
own rub, but
Oh, well, that's probably the best way.
yeah, I barbecue a
Um,
lot, as you can tell.
but this stuff is like, if I mean, it's like $4 for something like this, and you can probably make 12 to 20 steaks with it. And I don't know, just put one coat on, don't need any salt, pepper, anything else. It's just like, and then like with the prime rib, I stick it in my Ronco rotisserie, it cooks up and self base, just fabulous. But yeah, so that's one thing I've been giving some thought to, is doing a little bit of a TED Talk grub, but we'll
There you
see.
go.
Uh,
You got to invite me on there when you do it.
I know I've seen you make some killer meals, man.
Yeah, I love barbecue. I have a lot.
Good
I have
stuff in
like
the
5
smoker.
different barbecues pits. I have the smokers, the
Damn.
green egg, everything back there.
There you go. Red Man and Method Man check. All right. Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it. Ron says, if you know, you know. Hopefully it'll be as good. Just saw on 49ers page that Devin Riley passed away. Rest in
Who?
peace. I'm sorry, I didn't hear. I'm not familiar with who that is, to be honest.
Me neither. Yeah.
But I'm assuming it was a 49er, probably, maybe before our time, or just somebody who wasn't well known. Niners DNA. Here we go. We got Pete Burge in the house. Hey, mate. See you Thursday. Hearing Trey bounce back today. Looking forward to catching up. Yeah, Pete was my co-host early on when I first started the channel. We do like Thursdays, usually I think 2:45 my time, which is like 8:15 in the morning in Sydney, Australia, and the next day that is. And he had some things he had to take care of, and he's back, so we're back. So we'll be kicking things off this Thursday, I believe 2:45, but I'll check my DMs. I didn't see him confirm that, but excited to have you back, Pete. Ted makes the best pizza in the land. No, that's you, man. That's you.
Yeah, Batch is like pizza guy for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I know how to order a good pizza, that counts for something.
Dude, I can't even do that.
Ryan says Dick's is the place where the cool hang out. So when I was in Seattle, I was asking Ryan where to get a good burger, and that's what he and a few people told me. Dick's on Broadway in Seattle. One of the best burger spots there. So if you're there, check it out. I think that's what he was talking about. So Thomas says salmon, fresh steamed broccoli, and cheddar mashed potatoes with bacon. Sounds yummy and healthy. Like it. That spice rub is my go-to for prime rib. Yeah, it's great for prime rib. It's also good on, obviously, ribeye is basically a prime rib steak. It's great on New York. Even filet, it's good. But I would say that the fattier steaks are going to be better, the ribeye and the New York. Hella hard to find it in Roseville. Yeah, it's hard for me to find it. Like the last time I got it, I had to go on DoorDash, and like I think they delivered it from some little uh, market in Oakland, and it was like I said, it was like $4 a thing, and like I got 8 of them, and I think it was under $30 somehow. I don't know how they must be losing money on those deliveries. They must be doing it to gain market share or something, because there's no way you can make a delivery from Oakland to the Mid Peninsula for like a couple bucks. I mean, an Uber would cost you $40 to go from here to there. I don't know. It's strange. $30 at least.
Unless you were not the only stop in that area.
I guess that's true. But come on, what are the odds of that?
No, I know.
Like all these people are ordering from the peninsula from Oakland. Like you'd only do it for, I don't know, or maybe a bunch of people are jonesing for this.
Yeah. They're all watching your
show.
show.
That is possible. That I'll buy. I mean, for sure. What kind of paprika do I have? I have no clue, Vash. No clue.
I like smoked paprika over anything.
If you grind everything fresh and it's your own rub, it's way better than anything store bought. I'm sure.
Real quick, when you get a chance to check out your private chat.
Oh, okay. All right. Are we running out of time? Yeah. No, that's fine. It's probably a good time to wrap up. You can just say it. It's fine. But yeah, everybody, thank you for coming out. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, Beto. If you have to do it again, do it on your channel next time and stream to mine. Like I said, everybody on Beto's channel, come give me a like and subscribe. If you're on mine, go like and subscribe to Niner Sickness. And until then, we'll just say peace and go Niners.
Later, guys.